All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual set to compete at BKFC 29. That happens on September the 10th. A very intriguing featherweight bout taking place between Kai Stewart and Rusty Crowder. Happy to be welcoming Rusty onto the show for the very first time. How's your day going so far there, man?
It's going pretty good, man. Just got done with some road work, trying to get these last few pounds off.
Yeah, I was going to say, how's the weight cut at this point? You obviously seem very familiar with the division now. Have you got the methodology down pretty concrete for the weight cut and all?
Oh, yeah, I got it into a science. I'm almost where I need to be. Just got a few more pounds to push out.
Yeah, and this is an intriguing bout. I know after your last fight there, it seemed like you were eyeballing a title shot, but, I mean, this is a great one in the sense of, like, you being, ranked at number 2 and then your opponent being number 3. What were your thoughts when this bout offer came your way?
Obviously, I wanted Howard Davis. I think he's number 1, but Kai Stewart is just another guy on the way, so I'll knock him down and we'll see what's next.
That's interesting. So you don't necessarily, because I feel like I've seen a couple articles of people talking about Kai Stewart's upward mobility. You don't necessarily see him as this like surging kind of featherweight contender. You think he's like, I don't know, he's not like eliciting any kind of like reaction from you beyond like any of your previous opponents there.
Kai Stewart has nothing that I haven't seen yet. He might be a big deal in Montana, but that's Montana. I'm going past the first round, honestly. He's a tough kid. He's a up-and-coming fighter in Montana, but he hasn't had the fights that I've had. He don't have the experience, and I'm going to show that.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned him being like a Montana kind of guy. Do you feel like kind of emboldened being like the away player almost in a certain sense, like coming to someone's home turf to kind of fight them?
Oh, yeah. I love being the underdog. I'm used to being the underdog, so I'm going behind the lines in the hostile territory, and I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to piss Montana off, and I'm going to go drink beer, and then I'm going to go back home.
Yeah, and you talk about the last fight there, briefly there. I mean, that was quite the performance there, just getting the doctor stoppage over Louis Lopez at not encroaching beyond the first round there, and like being a co-main event kind of bout as well. Just like all those facets, like what were your big takeaways from the last fight? I would think you were fairly satisfied.
I ain't really too satisfied at how it ended because he was still willing to fight, and I just don't like fights to end that way. I feel as long as he was willing to go and fight, that the fight should have kept going, but you can't fight with a broken jaw, so it is what it is. What happened. If he works his way up to the ranks and he gets to that spot again, then we can have another fight. But until then, I'm just looking forward and not backwards.
Yeah, and to the point of looking forward, like obviously you're not like looking beyond the immediacy of this next fight here, but I did mention the proximity you guys have towards the title there. Like, what do you think's going to happen with that situation there, just with the belt? Because there's not like an officially cemented champion right now. Like, it seems like maybe they might do Howard Davis, Jimmy Rivera, like run that back sort of thing. Do you kind of see that as being the title fight there, or what do you think about that?
Whoever they have in mind, that's fine with me. I believe it's either going to be Howard Davis or maybe Johnny Bedford that I'll be fighting next after I win this fight. But we'll see how it plays out, and whoever they put up for me, I'll train and I'll fight and I'll win.
Yeah, and I mean, if Howard Davis does end up being the guy that you would face in like a potential title fight, like were there big takeaways from the first fight you had with him that could inform the rematch there?
Yeah. Gotta be a little bit more elusive, stay away from his right hand so I don't get my mouthpiece knocked out again. Gotta work my way to the inside more, be a little bit more aggressive, as I need to do with every fight from here on out.
Yeah, and you've been with BKFC for a good tenure now. Like, I mean, I saw you debuted with them on their third event there, and you've been a fixture ever since there. And like within your MMA career, you captured that NFC bantamweight title. Just considering like your career with like bare knuckle and everything, like how important would like getting to that title opportunity next be, just like getting an accolade in a different combat sport?
Obviously, the title is what everybody shoots for. If you're fighting and your future goals isn't to fight for the title, then I don't know if you should be fighting or not. But that's where I want to be. I want to get the belt. I want to be number one, and I want to stay number one. So that's my goal.
Yeah, and I feel like you've been in there with like top level kind of guys and really shown your skills, even if it hasn't necessarily like, because it's combat sports is interesting. Like there's that binary of like winning and losing, but I feel like in each of your bouts you really do showcase your skills and don't get like, you know, blown out of the water, as it were. Like I mean, fighting like a guy who's a champion now and Reggie Barnett, like I feel like you've got like a good kind of sense of like what it would take to get to that championship level.
Right. I fought most of the toughest guys in Georgia in my weight class, in bantamweight and featherweight. I've never been knocked out. I've had 34 fights combined, if you consider Muay Thai, MMA, bare knuckle. So I've never been knocked out. I've never been finished.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of
the best in Georgia in bantamweight and featherweight, and I pretty much fought the best that BKFC has to offer also. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you talk about that experience across like a few different combat sports there, and BKFC is such an interesting martial art. Like, I mean, you have like a pair of pro boxing bouts behind you. Obviously, the MMA experience is there. Like, I guess what would you say is like the biggest aspect of your game, like since like going over to bare knuckle? Like, do you really find like the clinch positioning from Muay Thai informs your game a great deal? Is it like the boxing at range that kind of informs that? Can you kind of talk about that a bit?
I mean, obviously, working the clinch in between jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, and all that, it obviously helps in the clinch whenever you're fighting bare knuckle. So, yeah, all the training that I've had for other bouts, when it comes to the clinch, definitely helps me in bare knuckle.
Yeah, and I was seeing that you do some personal training kind of stuff. Like I was seeing that there was like a couple posts that were kind of oriented towards that there. Like how much does like teaching other people martial arts technique like inform a greater understanding of the technique on your end there? Because I do hear that a lot from fighters.
Oh yeah, teaching other people what you know helps you stay sharpened up on your own skills. So that definitely helps and plays a role in keeping your technique sharp and helping you remember what you have to do as well as a fighter.
Yeah, for sure. And just to the point of like what you need to do as a fighter. I found it kind of intriguing, just kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about how you don't see this going beyond the first round. Is that more informed by, I guess, like your own skills and what you're seeing in the gym on a day-to-day basis, or is it more something you see in Stewart's game that you can maybe take advantage of a bit?
I just don't think Kai Stewart has faced the competition that I've faced. I don't think he's been hit like I'm going to hit him. I think he's overrated. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to slow the momentum down and I'm going to show him that Kai Stewart ain't what he's made to be. I'll win the fight and he's going to lose the fight. And every fight there has to be a winner and a loser, and I'm going to be the winner.
Yeah, and from what I could tell in doing my research on you, you seem like a very dedicated family man. Like I think I was seeing in an Instagram post, you have your daughter's name tattooed on you. Like how much do you draw inspiration from your family as you lead into these big fights? It seems to galvanize you a fair bit.
My kids definitely give me motivation give me motivation to get up and go run when I don't want to run, and lift weights when I don't want to lift weights. They give me motivation during the fight to push forward, keep going. So they're definitely a big part of my life, a big part of my motivation. And they're one reason why I will have the belt right around my waist.
Are they kind of at that age where they understand what, you do for a living? Like, is it like the whole my dad can beat up your dad sort of thing, or maybe not that comprehensive understanding yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They understand that I gotta spend time away from them in the gym or whatever it is, getting ready for the fight. They understand the whole aspect of it. They love it. Whenever they can't make it to the venue, they're watching it at home, so they definitely love it, and they might grow up to be fighters someday as well.
Oh, that's cool. So they've been training a bit, or? Oh no, sorry. I was just saying, have they been like training a bit in martial arts already, or just maybe they watch the fights and seem interested? Like, why do you think that?
I hold mitts for them every now and then, but at this point, they're not really interested in training or nothing. But I hold mitts for them. They go on little runs with me and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's cool to hear, man. That's a fun sort of dynamic there for sure, and I appreciate you coming on the show and giving great insights ahead of a big fight that looks to, on paper at least, be a title eliminator. So yeah, really appreciate you coming on there, man. But also I want to, put the ball in your court a little bit. Maybe there's something you want to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping up, or?
Say that again now? You kind of broke up.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, I want to put the ball in your court and maybe see if there's like anything you might want to add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping things up here, man.
No, not really, man. Just I'm gonna keep doing what I do. I got, like I said, I gotta get these last little bit of pounds off. I'm just excited for the fight, hyped up for it. I'm good, man. I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the bare knuckle community are ready to go and see you guys knuckle up and toe the line on September 10th here. That's going to be a great card, BKFC 29, and one of the bouts I'm very intrigued by is Kai Stewart versus Rusty Crowder. So I appreciate you coming on the show and giving some great insights ahead of that one, man. Looking forward to peeping the fight there, and you enjoy the rest of your day too.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, man. Thank you.